combatants incoming. Friendly combatants detected. Heavily armored hostiles detected. Incoming hostiles detected. Friendly combatants nearby. Armored hostile detected.
Is that it? Thank God. Is everyone okay?
Specialization data collected.
The game fucking crashed. Hello everybody, how y'all doing? Welcome to the channel. My name is Raffle and today I have another Division 2 build for you. This time it's a striker build, but I decided to get rid of the chest piece. The chest piece of the striker, what it does is it increases our max stacks from 100 to 200, and now from 100 to 200 stacks we lose 3 stacks per second. Now the reason I decided to get rid of the chest piece talent is that a lot of players were saying, which was pretty accurate, I had to agree with them, that maintaining the stacks above 100 was actually really hard, and they didn't really knew if it was worth using that striker chest piece. Now most of the times for most of my striker builds I go with the striker chest piece simply because the type of content that I do, legendary missions and control points and things like that, and combined with my playstyle allow me to get the striker stacks pretty high when I need them to. However, today I decided to get rid of the striker chest piece and go with glass cannon. Glass cannon will give us 25% amplified damage. And the downside to the glass cannon, of course, is that all the damage we take is amplified by 50. If you go with perfect glass cannon, if you go with the sacrificed chest piece, here it is, you deal 30% amplified damage, but you take 60. Obviously, if you go with a sacrifice instead of a Fenris Group AB with normal glass cannon on it, you will gain more damage. The sacrificed chest piece gives you more damage. It gives you around 70 with 100k more damage from the testing that I did, which it's nice to have. However, the downside of it, having to deal with 60% amplified damage on us rather than 50, I think that it's not really worth that 70-80k extra damage that we get. That's why I decided to go with Fenris AB. Obviously, we want this piece to be Fenris AB so we can get the 10% assault rifle damage from the branched bonus. And we also want to use Kingbreaker. The reason I'm going with Kingbreaker is because it has the perfect flatline which amplifies our weapon damage by 20% to pulsed enemies. Now, in order to make sure that all the enemies that we aim at are pulsed, so this over here, the perfect flatline, is always procced, we're using the technical specialization, which allows us to use the linked laser pointer. Technician laser pointer that pulses targets at which it's aimed at. Everyone you looked at is going to be getting pulsed, so that 20% amplified damage will be always there for you. Now, if you don't want to play with a Kingbreaker, you can go with a Carbine 7 or a Police M4 that have flatlight. However, Kingbreaker having a very high base damage as well as the 5% extra amplified damage means that will give you higher damage. A big issue, however, with the Kingbreaker is that the rate of fire, the RPM that it has, is relatively low, and the recoil, the accuracy of it is not that good. That problem gets kind of solved by using the striker, the 4-piece striker, because at 2 pieces we get 15% weapon handling, which helps with our accuracy, stability, and things like that, and at 3 pieces we get that 15% rate of fire. So controlling Kingbreaker becomes much easier by using striker, and the RPM also goes up by a lot. If I remember correctly, the base RPM for Kingbreaker is 650. Let me just check that real quick, just to be sure. So if I change to this, Kingbreaker, yeah. Kingbreaker normal RPM is 650. However, with the striker goes all the way up to 748. That's almost 100 rounds more per minute. For the build, of course, we will need 4 striker pieces. I have weapon damage, critical hit chance, critical hit chance. On the backpack, we have 15% weapon damage, 11.12 critical hit damage, 6% critical hit chance. We want the backpack because the backpack actually gives us 35% increased total weapon damage, which we cannot get out of any other backpack in the game. Your best bet would be to go with Memento, which Memento, even when you had 30 stacks on the long-term buff, you wouldn't be getting the same amount of damage. The only way to get more damage out of the Memento would be if you were playing very aggressively and you were picking up the trophies that were dropping from the enemies you were killing. Because the build, as you can see, is full red and I don't have blue cores on it, I don't feel too comfortable running around and picking up trophies. As you saw from the gameplay, the build kills pretty much everything very, very fast. However, it has no armor. It has 700k of armor, which means that you will go down very fast. We're using the shield so that we can, the Crusader shield, so that we can pull it out and gain some extra survivability. However, if the shield breaks and you get confused, you're pretty much dead. We have the Revive Hive that will get us up in case we die. However, the Memento would require you to play in a much more aggressive and riskier way, which I don't feel comfortable playing at, so I'm not gonna use it. The gloves here have weapon damage, critical hit damage, holster, of course, weapon damage, critical hit damage, and then we have fog sprayers for the 8% damage targets out of cover, 8% from the holster, from the knee pads, excuse me, another 10% from the Kingbreaker third attribute, that's 18% of damage targets out of cover, really, really nice. Weapon damage maxed out, critical hit damage maxed out, Fenris, we have weapon damage, headshot damage, critical hit chance, critical hit damage. I would be happier if that over here was critical hit damage. That way we would go all the way. Oops, apologies, that's not right. I have a wrong mod somewhere. Is that over? Yeah, it's this one. That should have been 6% critical hit chance. There we go, 50% critical hit chance, 93% critical hit damage. Ideally, you want this to be critical hit damage, so you go over 100%. But even with less than 100% critical hit damage, this build really, really melts, as you saw. Now, you may be wondering how much damage are we losing if we don't use the striker chest piece and use the glass cannon instead. Let me actually show you. So at full stacks, as you can see right now, with the glass cannon, we're doing 1,670,000, right? If we change that striker, let's put here, let me actually see, change this one as well, get a Fenris AB, how much we have, 44. So we change that to critical hit chance again. There we go. So now at 200 stacks of striker, we're doing We need to get him pulsed real quick. Do you want to get pulsed? Please get pulsed. There we go. We get 2,020,000. The highest, I think. Yeah. 2,020,000. So we're losing less than 400. We're losing around 350k or something like that, which at first look sounds like a lot. However, it is a loss that I'm willing to take simply because, as I said, when you have max stacks 100, you will be able to reach the cap much easier than when you have 200 stacks. When I'm using the striker chest piece, most of the times when I'm doing open world activities and things like that, my stacks are somewhere between 120 to 150, somewhere around there. Most of the times when I reach the 200 stacks is when I'm actually doing some legendary content, when I find a very tanky boss, things like that. Normally, when I'm doing normal content like convoys, right, or missions, or heroic missions, or control points and things like that, very rarely I will reach the 200 stacks, which means that when I'm chilling at around 120 stacks, I'm not doing that much damage. So let's see how much I'm going to be hitting for with the striker chest piece at around 150 stacks, right? So we're hitting for 1.7, 1.5, 1.6. I'm assuming right now we're somewhere at around 150 stacks. So the damage, it's not that different to what I was hitting with my glass cannon. If you are one of those players who were complaining, not complaining, but saying that, you know, I don't think that using the striker chest piece is worth it simply because I don't stay at 200 stacks for very long, then this build over here should be a very good alternative to use. Secondary, I have my rock and roll so that I can go and just blast enemies and get my stacks up. Boom, at 200 stacks already. So yeah, that's it pretty much, guys. 4 striker pieces, including the backpack, 1 Furnace AB piece with glass cannon on it, and then the Fox sprayers for the 8% damage targets out of cover, Kingbreaker for the perfect flatline damage targets out of cover, and the Technician specialization for the laser sight that it gives us that pulses enemies as soon as you aim at them. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to drop a like and to subscribe for more content. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been showing the last couple of months. I'm really thankful for that, and I'm really happy to see that you guys enjoy the content that I create. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye bye.